Okay, thank you guys. We'll get started. I think I need to share my screen. Share it. Hope you guys can hear me. Okay. So yesterday we made some mistake. We basically pushed our code, right? I'm having different organizations, and by mistake I pushed it to a different organization. So that's the reason we did not see our code in our organization project. So what I mean to say, let's go to my uh, our Azure DevOps, dev.azure.com. So I was just giving another session in the morning. I realized that I did not connect to our organization. I connected to the other organization. So let's see it. So this is our Azure DevOps 8 a.m. session, right? And this is the project we were using, right? MEC 8 a.m. demo. And after I pushed my branch, I was just looking at this screen only. There was no code available. Then what I did, instead of troubleshooting or giving another thought on this one, I simply went to my Visual Studio and went to my Team Explorer, and this is where you see, right? And then you will when I pushed it, I basically get an URL there, and I clicked on that URL. It went to there, but it went to the another organization. We pushed our code to another organization. So whenever you push any of your new code or to any branch, right, you need to observe the URL. So how do you observe it? Basically, if you look at this browser, right, the first one is dev.azure.com. This is your website, and this is same for everyone. If you are using your customized website, like customized name for your company, that will come there. And the next one will be your organization name. Okay, yesterday I was using another organization name. I did not realize that actually. That's where my project MVC app 8 a.m. demo is still empty because I pushed it to a different project in a different organization. So what we do first, we will put our code into our repository. Actually, right now you can see that. So what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and create another solution. Okay, so close solution, and then create another solution. So I'll take this ASP.NET MVC only, and then this is C#, and then next, and then my local location is local repository path is my user ID /source/repos, and let's give some name. I'll give today's name, probably December 30. I will be using this one moving forward. Web app 8 a.m. This is for my reference. I mean, I just give the batch names actually. And this is a project name. If you want to give a solution name, you can give a differently. I always, give like this solution. I mean, to just differentiate the solution name and because your solution contains different project names, right? If your project name and solution name same, right, you might be having other project names, then you get confused. Always give a solution name different and other project names. Of course, you will not be creating these things. The developer will be creating, but still you understand these things. Next, create. And what I'm saying, I'm not going to take any Docker support. I'm not configure HTTPS, but I'm going to generate unit test cases project as well. Okay, let's create. So I realized today morning only, okay, why my project is still showing empty even though I pushed it. I pushed it to a different organization. Okay, okay, that's cool. Let me open my solution explorer. Okay, now I got two projects. My solution name is December 31st Web App 8 a.m. solution, and my project is Web App 8 a.m. and then Web App 8 a.m. .test. These are the test projects. Now You see there are no plus, no minus, no log symbols. That means it is not in the source control. I'm just going to add this to the source control. Okay, you can do it in multiple ways. Either you click on this add to source control at the bottom, or you simply click on the solution, because I want entire solution, and go to add solution to the source control. These are the different places where you can add your solution to the source control. Now it's been added, December 31st web app 8 am solution, and the default master branch is being created, but this is on my local. This is not on the servers. We already seen it. Let's go ahead and, okay, if you want to verify it, anyways, we are here. There is nothing here. And even if you go to the project MVC 8 am demo and then repos, you don't see anything. You go to the repos, you go to the files, everything is empty here. Okay, here you will be seeing now a different thing. Okay, now I want to push it. How you can do? You need to go to the team explorer. That's where you get options for the version control systems. Click on team explorer by going to the view, and then now click on manage connections, and then you will get this option. Okay, let me collapse this, and then I would say I'm going to use Azure DevOps only. Okay, let's click on connect. Since I already logged into my Visual Studio using this account, it's already populated. If not, you have to use it. And this is the root URL dev.azure.com, and I want to connect to my organization Azure DevOps 8 am session. Done. Let's connect it. Okay. This is where I told you I screwed my Visual Studio. It is now reverting back to my what is a this is a traditional version control system actually. Settings, go to source control. It is showing my TFVC. It has to be my Git actually. It has to show the Git. Okay. So is it the problem with my organization? Let me look at my guys. Give me 2 minutes. Let me sort it out. I just screwed in earlier sessions. The pipelines process, and this is a Scrum process, and this is fine. I should not give like this. Has to connect to a project. Azure DevOps 8 am, then connect. Okay. Okay, I'm good. Actually, I was doing a TFVC and Git demonstrations to the people. So I had to do the same thing on my laptop. And I was doing the Docker as well. For the Docker, I need to make some configuration changes. Everything is on the same laptop, and I'm having different organizations. So the views were getting changed actually. Okay. Now, how do you know that which organization you connected to? This is dev.azure.com and my organization. Yesterday it was different. It was connected to Sureka 86, which was another organization, and I did not see it actually. I simply pushed it without checking that. Okay. Now I connected with this, and you can go and sync actually. Click on sync. Okay, everything is perfect. There are no outgoing, there are no incoming. Okay.
empty project in Azure DevOps?
Yeah, it has to go actually. Now this has to go. So you see, my older things are getting, I mean, appearing here. My related to my PFPC. So that's where I'm just checking. So now I connected. Go to settings. Now my settings are changed actually. If you see it earlier and now. Okay, let me go and look at my repository settings. I'm using the same thing and. Okay, this is perfect, this is perfect, and go to home, click on again settings, uh, look at the global settings. Okay, I'm using the same repositories. Okay, now done. Now if I go ahead and click on changes, I don't want any of these things basically. Let it be. So now it is pushing the branch, you see. You might have seen that one, pushing the branch. Okay, now
We made the same thing, but we haven't seen that command, so it has been grayed out.
because yesterday I just made
We tried in
is it, we will look into that one. I don't, because the scenarios will be different, right? So let's go to repos. Okay, it did not. Yeah, there are some additional things that's been added. So once I add git ignore file, right, all these things will be taken off actually. First, let's see whether my solution is being added perfectly or not. No, yeah, this is taking my TFPC stuff actually. This is not the one what I want to upload. I want to upload my solution. Whatever is my solution is showing empty here.
yeah, we had this problem.
This is because of my local things actually. It's been working. You also having the same problem?
No, when we are reconnecting it, the solution is like log.
Is
The
it?
solution is like going.
Okay.
We had
Okay.
to create a solution again.
Let's do one thing. Let's not fiddle with this. Let me close my laptop. Sorry, this one. But I'm having problem because of my today's session. Nothing other than that. Okay, let's create a new project. Uh, Demo 31st December, and then advanced, and then I'm taking the git version control, and then this is Scrum, and then create. So another way to open this is, clone in Visual Studio, not the code, clone in Visual Studio, and then pick it up. I will sort these things later. Yeah, okay. So let's put it in the same path. Now you see the local path is same, and this is my remote path. Okay, clone. We have a number of ways to do it actually. If we get screwed in one way, we'll get into other way. So we were trying to do a Selenium test case execution using Docker environment, which is very complex in the Docker actually. Guys, bear with me. Okay, we cloned it, this one, and then go to, once we clone it, it will come like that, don't worry. And then let's add a solution, add a new project, and then take this, and then next, and then I don't know where app. This is my repo. Create, then MVC, and say uncheck, add unit test projects. Okay. I changed my some of the settings using different Git accounts and everything. Okay, now you should. I have the source control. Let it take some time. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now this view has to be changed. Switch views. It has to be highlighting. Solution is kept somewhere else, it seems. It's going to my old. Sorry, guys, give me 2 minutes. Okay, so I created a new project and then I clicked on sync. Okay, and then I have this option Azure DevOps publish get repo. Click this. Yeah, it will come. It will. The internet is little slow. Okay, so if you want to create a new repository, just leave it as it is. Okay, this is your organization. Okay, earlier it was selecting this organization. I mean, I did not give that attention. Let's select my organization. Okay, and if you want to create a repository, a new repository with the same name as your project, you can give like this and don't click on the advanced. But if you want to push it to the existing one, you can click on advanced and it will give a drop down of repositories and you can select it. Since I am stood now today, I just want to create a new repository today. I don't want to waste any time actually. Let's go ahead and click on publish repository. I'm not sure why it was not, I was not getting that option earlier. Okay, now a repository is being created in my organization. You look at this URL dev.azure.com Azure DevOps 8 session. Okay, and this is a URL web application 6. You can click on this or you can click on this. You can go there, or you can directly refresh. Go to your uh, Azure DevOps. Go to home, and then this is the which one, this is the repository we created, web application 6 actually. Okay, we will change it tomorrow, I mean later we'll create another project if you want. Okay, now I'm in my web application 6 Azure DevOps project, and if I go to repos in the files, I can see all my stuff actually. Okay, okay, cool. We got it done. So now the thing is, yesterday we given people given some user, I mean email IDs to me. Let's go ahead and add their accounts to this project so that they can access and we can see some merge operations and pull requests in the sessions actually. How do you add a user? You can add an user at the organization level, or you can add a user at the project level as well. I want to give these users to my project only that access I want to give. So you good. So once you are in the project, you have this project settings. Click on the project settings, and then here you have the teams. Okay, if you want to add an administrator, you can add administrator. I'm not going to add any administrator. I'm just going to add only a few people to my project actually. Okay, so let's go on teams, and you can by default you see these teams, right? I'm not going to create any team now. Now permissions, by default you will have all these different groups here, and we can customize our own group as well. Right now I'm going to add one of the users to contributor group. That means they can contribute to work items, they can contribute to the code, I mean they can work with the repos and all that stuff. We will see how to set the permissions as well. Guys can okay, let me open my email. You guys sent an email, so I'm going to add one person, Pola Nageshwar Rao, to this one, Polasu underscore N. Let's click on contributor, and how you can add a member. These are all the permissions that are set for this group actually. You can go ahead and read, and not set means the persons in this group are not allowed to do that. If you want to set it, either you have to allow or deny. Deny is by default equivalent to not set. Okay, just go to members. Okay, and then I can go ahead and add user. So I'm going to add this guy, Polasu. Yesterday I was trying in a different project, so it came in the cache actually. So this person, and then just save. Now I have given a contributor access to this user to my account. I mean, to my web application 6 DevOps project. He can do few things. Let me add a couple of other people as well. Okay, I want some of them to be just a readers. I mean, you can only read actually. You can only view. Just open this and then go to members and click on add. And can someone tell you one? G.
Board project.
Okay.
W.
Okay.
RUPSH.
Can you type it here? Right. Just give me a second. Okay, now this person can only view the content, and you can see the comprehensive documentation on the MSDN website. But these permissions are very self-explanatory, even you don't need to go there. Let's go and open contributor, right? What are the different permission types we have? Uh, Delete team project. It's not set. That means this guy cannot delete any team project. If I allow him, he will be able to delete even the team project to which he is assigned to. He cannot delete another team projects because he doesn't have a permission at the organization level. He is a part of the project. He can delete the project, okay, but not the other projects. Like that, just go ahead and look all these things. Manage project properties, project visibility, and you have the boards, and you can see delete and restore work items, okay, such kind of things. You can set all these permission, you can read it actually. And so now these guys might have an invitation sent to them asking join Azure DevOps stuff actually. Now since I can't see those guys, I'll add my account itself to this project and I will see actually. Okay, I want to make myself as a project administrator. Let's go and add my user ID. So this is my user ID, and then save it. Now let me log out from my current Hotmail account. Setting up these policies is very important when you are working on production environments or your organization projects, right? You need to go and read all those rules and which has to be set, which has to be allowed or denied. And you can take by default groups created, or if you think that those groups are not 100% relevant to you, you can go ahead and create a new group and add, I mean, update permissions, etc. But all those will be a drop-down list actually. Okay. So the best way is, to try the options and practice rather than reading it actually, because you don't, anyways, you don't remember what all that stuff. Okay, so I logged into my account. Probably it hasn't, it might be on the way. What I can do is I can log out from this account, okay, or I can switch to this account. This is the one I used, purnachandra.in. I'll just switch to this. So I have added myself as a project administrator to this web application 6 DevOps project. And you see, I have all the permissions. Even I can go ahead and create a new pipeline as well. So I'm having access actually. Let's go ahead and do one more setting change, and then we can continue on to the other things. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to change this guy from project administrators to the some reader, and you can see it actually how it looks like. Let's log in with this account to my Azure DevOps project. These permissions are very important in any because this comes under organization. Okay, let me go to web application 6 project, and I'm in the project now. Go to the project settings, and then project settings, go to permissions, and the permissions, I added this guy to the project administrator. Let me remove this guy. So go ahead and select and remove. That's it. he will be removed from the project administrators. Okay, now again go back to the permissions option. I'm just going to add him to the readers group. Let's make myself as a save it. Okay, now I'm a reader. Now what I can do, let's go to, let's refresh it if it is there still. It's redirected. Let me sign out. dev.azure.com and then sign in. I use my reader user. Okay, sign out and sign in with this current. So if we are using all the same things on the same PC, this is a problem. We have to switch between many things. Okay. Web application. Earlier you see, right, when I landed here itself, I see a different view basically. The entire home page, the entire list. Now web application 6. Now let's go and try to create a pipeline, build pipeline. See, earlier I was getting an option to create a pipeline, actually, new pipeline. Now I don't see anything. Okay, even if I go to work items anywhere, let us say, okay, let's see if I can create, because I haven't read all the permission sets. Okay, by default I was thinking this is a readers group, right? I should be having only readers. That's why I did not read any permissions. You see the error. The current user doesn't have permission to save work items, means he is not able to do anything he can only view, actually he cannot do. Like that, you can go and create users and add it to the respective groups. And if the groups are not relevant, you create another group and you set the permissions, what allow or deny, etc., and add all your groups to that person. Let us say for testers, you want to give only test related stuff. Create a test QA group and developers group and the project managers group rather than using the default groups. That's how you can do the governance on your Azure DevOps repositories. Okay. Yeah, we can link our Active Directory. It will cost me, actually. So it is. Yeah, we can see it actually. So you can go to the project settings, or else we can do like this. Yeah, basically it comes at, you go to here, Azure, basically the Active Directory or any IAM integration is not at the project level, right? If it has to be at the project level, first it has to be at the organization. Without implementing your AD at the organization, at the server level, you cannot propagate it to your teams, actually. So in the same way, if I have to use Active Directory authentication or the users in the Active Directory to be added to my projects, first I have to configure my organization with the Active Directory. So you have this option. You can use Azure Active Directory by default, okay? But if you want to use another Active Directory, it's not at this level. So first you have to, let us say, this is a Azure cloud, right? This comes under Azure cloud administration. You have to go and set up some site-to-site VPNs, etc., on the Azure cloud, okay, and connect your Azure cloud with your on-premise data center, and then you can connect your Active Directory. Obviously, your organization is having your own Active Directory. There is no doubt, and you are also having the Azure Active Directory. What people do, they mix it, actually. They propagate, the users from Azure Active Directory to your local Active Directory as well. But that comes under Azure Cloud Administration. You have to create a site-to-site VPNs, etc., and then create a Azure Cloud instance and connect both the sites. Like in your infrastructure terminology, you call it as a VLANs, but here you call it as a virtual networks. Actually, you connect both the data centers, Azure Cloud Data Center and your private. Then you will get an option here. Right now, from this, because this is a limited scope, right? From here, you can only configure Azure Active Directory. You see here, I mean, this is what it's saying. No content or history will be deleted first once. Okay, first, so this is giving an option. First of all, to connect to Active Directory, first I have to have the Active Directory instance. Okay, and give permission. I mean, so I logged into my dev.azure.com with my user ID. That user should be having right access to your Active Directory, which you create in the Azure Cloud Administrator, and then you will get this option enabled actually, connect to directory. Okay, but this is how you do it. We are not going to do that because anyways I will be using only one ID, so not more than that. Okay, now I have added a couple of people to this project, and we already seen a few things, right? Commit and etc. Before we go into merge operations, right? Let's take a scenario. Let's go to Solution Explorer.
How do you get all those files?
Hmm?
You have a private own project?
No, you just go to View and then click on Team Explorer.
No, what I'm saying is, how do you get all the entire project files? You have your own project or?
This is a project we just created, right?
But it should be empty, right? It's having more than one company. Almost like 3 to 4.
You mean to say this one?
Yeah.
Okay, I just created this new project and then pushed it to the Azure repositories, right?
Okay, just
Yesterday I have created, but the folder things.
I will show it to you. Okay, if you're having your laptop,
No, I don't have.
you don't have.
In my office.
Okay, you can follow this one actually because without seeing your system, right, I will not be able to do it. First, what you have to do, you have to create a project. Okay, now the project is been available in your here, and you go to the Solution Explorer from View and all. First, you have to add it like this, Active Source Control. Since I already added it, I don't get that option. Okay, once it is added, it is available in your local. Now after that, you have to go to the Team Explorer. How you can go? You go to the Team Explorer and you will get it. Initially, it will not be like this. Okay. Initially, you will not see this URL. Then you have to click on this manage connections. You will connect it, and then you will click on sync actually. When you sync it, if it is not available in the remote repository, it will give an option to publish to some repository. Since we already connected to Azure DevOps, it will give you option to connect to, Azure repos. You have to select I shown you without advanced, right? You just click on publish repo. Say it will create a new repository on the what do you say, on the server, and then all this content will be pushed there. That's how it goes. Okay. If you find it difficulty, you give me a call when you are doing it actually. Okay. I'll be out because we are here only. Okay. So let's get into some things actually. We were talking about some stashing, etc. Right? Stash commands. Okay. So there is a scenario. Let us say I am working on some. Let us say. Okay. Sorry. Don't do it here. New requirement. Okay, I'm just doing some code for a new requirement. Okay, and let us say I spend 1 or 2 days on this one. Okay, and suddenly some person will come and say hey, stop that requirement, and then there is a bug in the Jira, let's go and fix it. Then what I have to do, I have to either comment all my code and work on the bug and check in my code, or else take the backup and then do the bug fix and do it. Once the bug fix is done, again I have to uncomment all this code, whatever I've been doing, and then do it. This is a cumbersome activity. I mean, if it is a 2 lines or 10 lines, you can easily take a backup and you copy paste it back or you uncomment it. Let us imagine you done your changes across all these folders or files, and it's not easy. You can't even remember where you made changes actually, what you have to do. That's where your stashing comes into picture. Now what I'm doing, I'm not going to, since my project manager come and ask me saying that, hey, go and work on this bug fix rather than working on this requirement. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to push this code to my server. I want to preserve it locally. Okay, let's first is first, let's go and commit actually. Okay, and then give say testing some cap or need to work on bug fix, just something like this you can give. What I'm going to do, instead of commit all and all, I'm just going to stash it. Okay, let's go and stash all, whatever. You can select any of these options. We will get into what is the minor differences. Let's click on this. So the moment I said stash, right, you see another section here, stashes one. I have one stash on PC. Okay, now let's close this one, Team Explorer. Now I need to work on a bug fix, right? So what I do, I'll open, let us say something, probably I'll make some change to some web config. It can be any change, right? I'll go and make okay, so let's add something like that. Okay, this is my bug fix. Okay, so generally what happens now, I'll go and commit this. So generally when you are working on a project, right, you don't commit, many times you commit the entire project actually, or you commit a single file. Okay, now when I do a commit, right, I'm just doing a test commit. I am just going to say commit all and push. Okay, let's do it. It's pushing my change. Okay, let's go back to my repos. Let me change to my other user ID. Okay, now you will see the difference what is been happened there actually. Okay, go to my, what is that, web application 6, and then go to repos and then files. Okay, let's go to our web config. I have added a key, right, just a add, and you can see the history as well that is available. I just edited actually. Okay, and you see that change here, the first one. Okay, so this is the one. I also made one more commit, right, that is in the home controller.cs. Let's go to controller.cs. It's not here, right? What is the change I made? I added some comment here actually in my home controller.cs. I added some content.
Already stashed.
Yeah, I already stashed it. You don't see it actually. Now, so now I finished my bug fixing and it went to the different environment for testing and something. Then now I have to resume my work actually. Okay. So these are two ways. Okay. Now go to your changes. You know, you can open it. Either you now basically you can go ahead and start on it. Okay, continue your writing. Now I'm done with my, let us say, okay, okay, first I have to unstash it actually. Okay, let's apply. Okay, there is another option. We used stage, right? So I'm not able to edit it actually. So basically, sometimes what happens, you will continue your stashed work actually. You written some 10 lines of code. You want to continue and do another 50 or whatever is the number of lines of code, and then only you commit actually. I used one option that is commit stage, right? So we have to use other option so that I can continue. Now what I have done, first I checked in my bug fixing, and then after let us say think that after a few hours or few days of my development completion, I went ahead and committed my stash changes. Let's go back here. Let's refresh it. New requirement. So this is the scenario where you use stashing. Actually there are multiple options you have available. Okay, so I will show that. Okay, it's already 9 o'clock. I show that on some other options like a pull request, etc. Guys on the call, I mean, if you are having Visual Studio on your laptop and you are having you join that account, we will see some pull request actually, because I don't want to switch my user IDs here and make you confused. Okay, you will be having access to the repository, and you basically make some changes to. Okay, what we do in the next session, we create some repositories, not the branches, and you will be having access to that branch. Let us say dev branch. So one of you can make some change like this, and you create a pull request, then assign me as a reviewer, uh, and then I will do a verification and do it actually. So in that way, right, there won't be any confusion. I don't need to switch between multiple user IDs or browsers. So this will be a real-time stuff. Okay. So I will stop it for today. We've seen this stashing. Of course, I had some glitches with this Visual Studio. I have to clean up that stuff. Guys, I'm stopping for today. Tomorrow there won't be any class, January 1st. Okay, we'll continue on Thursday, and it will take another 2-3 sessions on Azure Repos, because there will be pull request, and we also see policies. We just seen policies at some reader or creational levels, right? You also need to apply policies on the code as well. Right now you only seen boards repo, I mean boards, some analytics and some other stuff. I mean project management, etc. I mean, can create a project, delete a project, such kind of things. But the heart of the policies is your code. So you have to apply policies on the code as well, means on the repositories. We will see them in detail in the next 2-3 sessions, and then we can close this Azure repos. It takes around 3 sessions to look in detail.
Punna, this is Niranjan. I have a question here in version controlling. I mean source control.
Yeah.
Like every day developers are pushing 200 lines, 300 lines, or 100 lines of code to the Azure portal or in through the Visual Studio. But
Correct.
how to distinguish what they have pushed?
Yeah. So every commit, right, will be associated with some change IDs. So you can basically create a queries. Okay, let's go ahead and see some of these things. So there are multiple places that you can see who pushed what. I mean, if you go to this repos, right, this is simply will be showing the entire history. Let us say files. In this history it contains everything, and your question is how I will be able to see who pushed it on what day, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can create, I mean, basically a few views. Okay, so the way you will be able to, sorry, every here you see, right, every commit will be associated with your some change sets, and you know every pull request, sorry, every check-in will be having its timestamps as well. Okay, that is what the bare minimum you see it here. Basically you can create some queries. I will show them, I mean, how you I mean see how you can build queries and see, you know, who has done what, rather than going in depth actually. So the way we create the queries in the boards, right, let us say what work items have been assigned to a person, what are work items have been in stage called in progress. In the same way we can apply some queries as well, and we can see it easily. And there is an option to query by change set. There is an option to view the code commits between from one to some period actually. Niranjan, we will see it in the next class actually. So I have some other thing to take again. It is 9 o'clock. If you don't mind, we will do
Okay.
it on Thursday.
Yeah,
But we can do
please.
it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Somebody given me their company email ID. Please do not give your company email IDs. Please give your Hotmail or Outlook accounts. Okay, that's the reason I have not added your IDs. I mean, you will have your what do you say, uh, privacy issues or some issues. Of course, these will not be a problem until unless you are in trouble. Once you are in trouble, they will track everything. Okay, for what purpose you are using your email ID and all. I'm not sure about your organization policies, but please do not use organization email IDs. Okay. Thank you, guys. That's it for today, and we'll see you on Thursday. Have a wish you a very happy New Year. Have a good time.
Thank you. Have a happy New Year.